What's up guys, this is JamesBl0nde with OnRPG.com, and this time I'm diving into a tactical MMO from Square Enix called Wakfu. Now Wakfu is a pretty unusual game, and I have to say this is the first time being introduced to the tactical MMO genre, so I'll go over the aspects of the game that held my attention. Now because the game was developed by Square Enix, of course you can expect a really clean look to the game. Let's check it out. To give you an idea of what's going on here, the story takes place several thousand years after Dofus, when the world of 12 is flooded from the tears of the Ogrest. This causes the ecosystem to become unbalanced and a new democracy to arise. Your job is to do your part in keeping the world's ecosystem in balance. So first off, you can choose from amongst 14 different classes that each have pretty unique abilities. These classes not only consist of the warrior, archer, and summoner, your typical MMO archetypes, but some not so typical archetypes like a treasure hunter or time traveler. And to give you just a taste of how creative the game gets, most of the class names are anagrams related to the class's abilities. For example, Introth's finger class is an anagram for Fortune's finger, which is a treasure hunter. And Ineripsa, the healer class, with its anagram being aspirin. For this I decided to choose the Berserker class, Sacrier's Blood, which is an anagram that's derived from two French words meaning one who laughs at pain. This really fits this class, as most of the Sacrier's abilities, especially the fire skills, inflict damage to themselves that generate what the game calls anger, which is a passive skill, and if used correctly makes them more and more powerful as they take damage. In customizing your class, you can choose from several different color schemes, plus change the color of your skin, hair, and eyes. And other customization is available through choosing professions, a citizenship, or battle loot. After you choose your class and the game starts, you save this half-blop, half-jelly creature called a JamesBl0nde, which becomes your personal NPC pet that guides you through the game and provides you with information. Your JamesBl0nde can also reflect your Wakfu and stasis balance by changing a specific color, but I'll talk more about that later. Each class works off of 3 or 4 core elemental skills: earth, air, fire, and water. Sacrier's Blood uses earth, air, and mainly fire. The fire skills, which are all close range, dealt out the most damage, plus created anger, whereas the earth skills were both close and long range skills that used the built up anger to deliver devastating blows. The passive and supportive skills help both you and your allies in battle. For example, positioning. You can use attraction to pull your enemies closer to you, or transposition to swap places. Positioning can mean life or death in this game, and sometimes enemies can move a number of spaces more than you can, and some of these passive and supportive skills can help you overcome this. Other passive and supportive skills work in your favor through HP, anger, and damage. As you use each of your skills, you level them up individually, as well as gaining XP to level your character up overall. With each level, you gain 5 points to improve your characteristics and 5 points toward your passive skills. Once you've found your first worthy opponent, whether it be a cute little rodent or a ferocious bleeblee, you choose your position on the battle grid and each player gets their turn. Each character starts off with 3 movement points, 6 action points, and 6 Wakfu points. Each spell uses various amounts of the 3 action, Wakfu, or movement points, and higher cost spells usually deal the most damage. Be careful, Wakfu points, unlike action points, don't return after each turn. They return only after the round is over. Each player is given 30 seconds to execute their movement. However, if you're fast enough and fill up your speed gauge, you can gain a speed bonus that depends on your opponent's type. The training in the game shows you that you can right-click on your opponents to identify their strengths and weaknesses, and battles may consist of one or multiple opponents. As you wander around the world, you can observe or join other battles going on around you. You can create a guild to take on even harder opponents in dungeons. In the game are 6 gathering professions and 11 crafting professions. The gathering professions include jobs like farming, fishing, and mining, and the job of each of the gathering professions is to provide the materials for the crafting professionals, which include the baker, chef, jeweler, and chamomenter. Crafting professions use recipes to create various items. A cool feature in the game is that you're not limited to just one profession, you can master them all. A good example of where this is beneficial is being a miner as well as a chamomenter to craft your own chama, which is the monetary element of the game. To learn each profession, you must find a different clan member accordingly, in which you receive a book over that profession and are tested over it later on. If you pass the test, you receive the required tool for your newly learned profession. Like I said in the beginning, a huge part of this game is balancing the ecosystem. A player can either be destructive or beneficial to the ecosystem. The environment is dynamic in that the world isn't fixed. Resources do not always appear in the same place, and it's up to players to maintain the number of monsters and plants, or even the climate. Stasis is the destruction of life, and Wakfu is the creation of life. There must be a balance between the two. So if you kill too many or create too many, you can throw off the ecosystem, and this can directly affect players in the game. The clan members in each nation decide how they want the ecosystem to be, and if you follow their orders, you get a good stat buff. At some point in the game, you'll decide on becoming a citizen of one of the 4 unique nations. I chose JamesBl0nde. Each nation has a player-run democracy and political system in which elections are held by players for several governmental officials. Another interesting thing about this game is that there is no pre-made shops. However, early in the game, you're given what is called a heaven bag that acts as a storage/house area, and it's portable. This also acts as the in-game market system, in that you can place display windows and sell from your heaven bag as well as buy from others. Among all of these features in the game, I have to point out that the game is quite humorous. From farting cats to fruity wolves, and even the dialect in the game will have you laughing. Thanks to Square Enix, the game has a really clean look and cartoon-style animation that make for fun interactions throughout the game. Although I would have liked to have seen a more intuitive way to track the quest lines and navigate to the different NPCs accordingly. I really did enjoy the creative aspect of the game with the idea of keeping the ecosystem balanced, as well as the tactical combat system. Wakfu releases in late February as free-to-play, but it also has a premium business model with extra benefits. You can get more details about Wakfu and its premium membership benefits if you stop by onrpg.com, but before you do that, hit that like button. I'm JamesBl0nde. See you out there, gamers.